Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Let's Play Skyrim. Last time when we left off, I was back on the mainland at Bard's Leap Summit to find a Briarheart for Neloth. Neloth has asked me to examine a Briarheart warrior of the Forsworn tribes. He couldn't direct me to a specific one, but he said they live in the hills on the western edge of Skyrim. Examine a Briarheart warrior. This is quite easy. If you go to Bard's Leap, you can go directly to a guaranteed Briarheart, along with 2 Hag Ravens. Oh, that was dumb. We'll check the boss chest just for giggles. What would you like to do? Harvest Briarheart. Completed. Examine a Briarheart warrior. Talk to Neloth. Completed. You're it. Find someone. Neloth has asked me to examine a Briarheart warrior of the Forsworn tribes. I found one and saw how the heart was implanted. Now, we can head back to Solstheim. Pretty straightforward, really. And we'll also fast travel to Tel Mithryn. Ash spawn. The heck? Oh goodness. Well, I have to admit I was not expecting combat. They caught me off guard. But that's largely irrelevant to a man of our abilities. Alrighty. Back to Tel Mithryn. Let's go visit Neloth now.
Good day, friend. Keeping well?
There he is.
It's as if Tel Mithryn is cursed. Spoiled food, ash spawn attacks, my servants constantly getting sick. What's next?
Can I help with your research?
I'm running low on heartstones. If you have any with you, I'll buy one. Otherwise, I can tell you where you might find one.
He's given me heartstones again. Get a heartstone. Where can I find a heartstone?
Every time the Red Mountain belches, more of them land here. Look around for impact craters, exposed rock, that sort of thing. You may need to pick away at it to pry the heartstone itself loose, but you look strong. Good luck.
How is Drovus working out?
The man makes a dreadful cup of Canis root tea. However, he seems to run the place well enough. Oh, don't waste your time. Those things are for the weak and foolish.
I examined the Briarheart warrior.
Oh, have you? Well, let me just extract those memories and I'll see if you found anything useful. I promise that any unrelated memories I run across will be kept in the strictest of confidences. Here, You deserve a bit of a reward for your efforts. That was a lengthy trip for you, I'm sure.
250 gold added. Completed. Briarheart Necropsy. And now we're on Heartstones again. Goody.
There are too many coincidences. There must be someone behind all of my recent troubles.
Someone is attacking you?
Yes, I have enemies. Legions of them back in Morrowind. However, in this case, I have reason to believe it is someone in Solstheim.
I suppose you want me to kill them.
Not yet. That may come later. But first I need to identify the culprit. I've enchanted this ring to find the source of the attacks. Here, take it.
Started. Old friends. Neloth's Ring of Tracking added. Find the source of the attacks. How do you know you are under attack?
Ash spawn keep appearing. One night, a part of my tower mysteriously withered. Then my steward was killed. You had to find me a replacement. I've even been attacked by dragons. Do I need to go on?
I'm not sure the dragons are about you.
Maybe not. I hear they've been seen over Skyrim too. Even so, there is more than enough evidence that someone is out to get me.
How does the ring work?
Just wear it. It will light up the source when you get close to it. I enchanted the ring with a bit of ash from the last ash spawn attack. It can follow the magical link back to its summoner.
How close do I have to be?
The link is weak, so you'll have to be within about 100 feet of the source.
Cool.
Try walking around the grounds with the ring on.
We'll do that in a bit, but we have started Old Friends. Neloth is being attacked by an unknown assailant. He gave me a ring that will identify the source of the attacks. If I walk around the grounds of Tel Mithryn, I might find a clue. We will do that in a bit. Oh, hello.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here. I got this from a pretty excited-looking dark elf around Raven Rock. He said it was important I got it to you as soon as I could. Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Completed. Wait for a message from Rallis. I agreed to fund Rallis Sedaris' expedition to excavate Kolbjorn Barrow. I should visit the site and see how the work is going. Visit the Kolbjorn Barrow excavation. We'll do that in a bit, but let's read Letter from Rallis Sedaris. Take it off my list, too. I hope this message finds you quickly, Travis. We've completed the initial excavation, but have run into some unexpected difficulties. Come as soon as you can. Your partner, Rallis. Neat.
Watch what you're doing.
Now, before I really get out and commit to anything else, I do want to sequence through as many of Neloth's Radiant quests as I can. Little miffed that he gave me Heartstones again, when he could so easily have done something else, but that's alright. There's one right here, so it's not a big deal. Completed. Get a Heartstone. Talk to Neloth. See, pretty straightforward as these things go. Oops. I just blew right into the steward's house because I wasn't paying attention to where I was going. How silly of me. This is what I hate about Radiant quests.
Don't lose that ring. It was difficult to make.
I have a Heartstone.
Excellent. I'll take it. Here, have some septums. That's that, then. How am I supposed to get anything done with part of the tower withered like this?
Looks like that's everything we can do for
That's that,
now.
then.
So let's head in here to where the Staff Enchanter is. There are a few things to look at. First, we should look at the Staff Enchanter itself. So you can create these various staves with unenchanted such and such staffs and varied amounts of heartstones. Now where you get unenchanted staves, I don't actually know. Maybe it's just when some staff runs out of charges? Maybe? I don't know. But the important thing here is a second black book. This one is The Hidden Twilight. And just because it'll warp us into the zone as soon as we read it, I'll tell you what it says. The Hidden Twilight by Carilius Melphus. The city of ink seeds rose from the desert, shining and decadent. Somehow it still stood. I crossed through the gate, and the beast knew exactly where to take me. The way worn by beggars and poets. The only place a man of my appetites can find satisfaction. I'm not proud, but then nobody ever is. Started. Black Book, The Hidden Twilight. I read the black book called The Hidden Twilight and found myself in Hermaeus More's realm of Apocrypha. I should uncover the knowledge hidden here or read the book again to escape. Learn the black book's hidden knowledge. Well, obviously we're going to learn the black book's hidden knowledge. So let me take that book off my list, and then we'll get going. This one is much, much bigger and more complicated than the Winds of Change is. Just a heads up. If that one seemed easy, it's because it was, I think, mostly planned to be the first one. So we can hit that scry to open up that zone. Let me check the two sides, just to be sure I'm not going to miss anything. Oh, looks good. I love Apocrypha. I think they did a great job with it. Open Chapter 2. Well, why not? Alright, so we just had a Seeker, Aspirant, and a High Seeker. We have a closed gate here. Here's the corpse of the High Seeker. An Accounting of the Scrolls is a rare book from the base game that we had not found yet. Let's take it off of him and read it right quick. An Accounting of the Scrolls by Quintus Neravellus, former Imperial Librarian. After the supposed theft of an Elder Scroll from our Imperial Library, I endeavored to find any sort of index or catalog of the scrolls in our possession, so that such situations may be avoided or at least properly verified in the future. To my dismay, I discovered that the Moth Priests are notoriously inexact when it comes to the actual physical manifestations of the scrolls, and had no idea how many they held or how they were organized. Merely asking the question evoked chuckles, as if a child was asking why dogs cannot talk. I will confess my jealousy of the ones who can read the scrolls grows, but I am not yet willing to sacrifice my sight to alleged knowledge. The older Moth Priests I attempt to engage in conversation seem as batty as any other elder who has lost their mind, so I fail to see what wisdom is imparted from their reading. In any case, I set out to create my own index of the Elder Scrolls in cooperation with the monks. Day by day, we went through the tower halls with them telling me the general nature of each Elder Scroll so that I might record its location. Always careful never to glimpse the writings myself, I had only their word to go on. I meticulously drew out a map of the chambers where scrolls relating to various specific prophecies were located, where particular periods of history were housed. In all, it took nearly a year of plotting, but at last I had rough notes on the entirety of the library to begin my collation. It was here that things began to go amiss. In studying my notes, I found many areas of overlap and outright contradiction. In some cases, different monks would claim the same scroll to be at opposite ends of the tower. I know they have no taste for jesting, or else I would suspect I was being made the fool in some game of theirs. I spoke to one of the older monks to relate my concerns, and he hung his head in sorrow for my wasted time. "Did I not tell you," he coughed, "when you started this, that all efforts would be futile? The scrolls do not exist in countable form. I had thought you meant there were too many to be counted. There are, but that is not the least of their complexities. Turn to the repository behind you and tell me how many scrolls are locked therein." I ran my fingers over the metal casings, tallying each rounded edge that they encountered. I turned back. 14, I said. "Hand me the 8th one," he said, reaching out his hand. I guided the cylinder into his palm, and he gave a slight nod to acknowledge it. "Now count again." Humoring him, I again passed my hands over the scrolls, but could not believe what I was feeling. Now there are 18, I gasped. The old monk chuckled, his cheeks pushing up his blindfold until it folded over itself. And in fact, he said, there always were. It was then that I enrolled as the oldest novice ever accepted into the cult of the Ancestor Moth. I have no need to actually bring that with me, of course. I'll eyeball over here, but we're good. Let's go search the second set of Seeker remains. Nichunak's Fire and Faith. That's another new one. Calm. Do I already know Calm? Yes, I do. Alright. Still, that's a new book. Nichunak's Fire and Faith. Read it, take it off the list. Nichunak's Fire and Faith. This book is a translated account of Nichunak's travels among the various colonies of the Dwemer, explaining the theories of Kagranak. I made inquiry as to the state of enlightenment among the people he spoke for. He answered that with respect to the theories of Kagranak, there was but one scholar near who could guide the people through the maze that leads to true misunderstanding. He informed me, however, that in Karaka the precepts of Kagranak were taught. He said that nothing pleased him more than to see the Dwemer of Karaka, the most learned people in the world, studying Kagranak's words and giving consideration to their place in the life to come, and where neither planar division nor the numeration of amnesia nor any other thing of utility was more valued than the understanding of the self and its relationship to the heart. I was gracious enough to receive this as a high compliment, and removing my helm, I thanked him and departed with an infinity of bows. That seems strange, because Morrowind's lore books were quite strange. But, you know, you can make a degree of sense of them if you piece them all together. We'll focus more on that synthesis when we're doing the Morrowind playthrough in earnest. For now, there's only one way to go, so let's head up these stairs. So We're above the gate right now, I think. We can use the scry. Now the gate below us opens, but that's not really the important part. The important part is that that little bridge starts going up and down. We want to stay on the upper level here. There isn't anything on the lower level, it's just there so that you can make your way back in the event that you do fall. Like I just did in my stupidity. Got too excited, didn't pay good attention. I was going to say, let me make certain what I just said is true. It is. That scribe will open that gate. Let's make our way up here and let's try and avoid having that happen again. Let's quick save. There we go. Left or right? Good question. If we go right, there's a book leading to chapter 3. If we go left, there's a dead end with a vessel. There's a spell tome of Conjure Seeker, or a pod, not a vessel. Read all those books. Should be obvious that we want to search the pod, and now we'll proceed into chapter 3. I don't think these switches are giving us autosaves, so if you're concerned, which you actually should be, even if you're high level, because if you accidentally fall into the water, you're pretty much going to die. Azura and the Box, the Wild Elves, we've read both of those. Alright, straight is obviously the way forward. Let's go up these ramps first then. Up and back. Oh, a scry. Oh, I guess we had to hit that in order to go straight. Go figure. Okay, that's cool. It's quite possible to accidentally fall into the water. And if you do, you will be dead. Even at level 252. There's a high seeker. They have some confusing and powerful spells. Nothing we can't handle, though. Alright, let's look around up here. Not really anything important. Last King of the Aliens, we've read. Do I know Bound Bow? I think I do. Yes, I do. Okay. I think that's the same lurker that we aggroed earlier, back in chapter 2. Oh gosh, come on. Oh, really? Enough? With the stupid kill cams. Alright, there we go. not actually a gap. Chapter 4 is back there. Duly noted. Now if we head up here, what are we going to find? A scry. Which opens that gate in the center. Nothing else in here but this stairway going up. But now there's a split. We got another closed gate here on the left. We head up these stairs. We'll find the scry to open it. Some creepy statues. And a seeker. Something went wrong. 16 Accords of Madness V9 is actually the last one that we had not read. So we can finish that series. Very cool. Here we go. 16 Accords of Madness, Volume 9, Vermina's Tale. Darius Shano found himself running as fast as he could. He had no idea what he was running from or towards, but he didn't care. The desire saturated his mind. There was nothing in the world except flight. He looked around for landmarks, anything to place himself or to use as a target, but to no avail. The featureless grasslands through which he was sprinting extended as far as the eye could see. Just have to keep running, he thought to himself. I have to run as fast as I can. On and on he ran, with no end in sight or in mind. Standing over Darius Shano while he lay quietly in his bed were his mistress, Vermina the Dreamweaver, and the mad god Sheogorath. Vernima looked down with pride at this disciple of hers, and was boastful of her little jewel. Such potential in this one. Through dreams of inspiration I have nurtured literary talent into fruition, and now he stands in acclaim as an emerging bard and poet. He will gain much favor before I tire of him. Sheogorath, too, gazed at the young Breton artist, and saw that he was indeed famous among the other mortals. Mused Sheogorath, but how many are there who hate this mortal whom you have built? It is the hatred of the mortals which confirms greatness, and not their love. Surely you can accomplish this as well. Vernima's eyes narrowed. Yes, the mortals are indeed often foolish and petty, and it is true that many of their most bold have been despised. Do not worry, mad one, for I have the power to achieve many forms of greatness with this one, hatred among them. Perhaps, Dreamweaver, it would be amusing to show who has this power. Inspire foolish, arrogant hatred of this mortal for 10 years, and then I will do the same. We shall see whose talents are most efficient, free of aid or interference from any of the Daedra. At this she relaxed into confident pleasure. The mad god is indeed powerful, but this task is suited to my skill. The mortals are repulsed by madness, but rarely think it worthy of hate. I shall take pleasure in revealing this to you as I bring the more subtle horrors out of this mortal's subconscious. And so in the 19th year of his life, the dreams Darius Shano had been experiencing began to change. Fear had always been part of the night for him, but now there was something else. A darkness began to creep into his slumber, a darkness that sucked away all feeling and color, leaving only emptiness behind. When this happened, he opened his mouth to scream, but found that the darkness had taken his voice as well. All he had was the terror and the void, and each night they filled him with a new understanding of death. Yet when he woke there was no fear, for he had faith that his lady had a purpose. Indeed, one night Vernima herself emerged from the void. She leaned in close to whisper into his ear. Watch carefully, my beloved. With that she pulled the void away, and for hours each night she would reveal to Darius the most horrible perversions of nature. men being skinned and eaten alive by other men, unimaginable beasts of many limbs and mouths, entire populations being burned. Their screams filled his every evening. In time these visions gnawed at his soul, and his work began to take on the character of his nightmares. The images revealed to him at night were reproduced on the page, and the terrible cruelty and hollow vice that his work contained both revolted and fascinated the public. They reveled in their disgust over every detail. There were those who openly enjoyed his shocking material, and his popularity among some only fed the hatred of those who found him abhorrent. This continued for several years while the infamy of Darius grew steadily. Then in his 29th year, without warning, the dreams and nightmares ceased. Darius felt a weight lifted as he no longer endured the nightly tortures, but was confused. What have I done to displease my mistress? He wondered aloud. Why has she abandoned me? Vernima never answered his prayers. No one ever answered, and the restless dreams faded away to leave Darius in long, deep sleeps. Interest in the works of Darius Shano waned. His prose became stale, and his ideas failed to provoke the shock and outrage they once had. As the memory of his notoriety and of his terrible dreams faded, the questions that raced in his mind eventually produced resentment against Vernima, his former mistress. Resentment grew into hatred. From hatred came ridicule, and over time ridicule became disbelief. Slowly it became obvious. Vernima had never spoken to him at all. His dreams were simply the product of a sick mind that had righted itself. He had been deceived by his own subconscious, and the anger and shame overwhelmed him. The man who once conversed with a deity drifted steadily into heresy. In time, all of the bitterness, doubt, and sacrilege focused in Darius a creative philosophy that was threaded throughout all of his subsequent work. He challenged the gods themselves, as well as the infantile public and corrupt state for worshipping them. He mocked them all with perverse caricatures, sparing no one and giving no quarter. He challenged the gods in public to strike him down if they existed, and ridiculed them when no such comeuppance was delivered. To all of this, the people reacted with outrage far greater than they had shown his previous work. His early career had offended only sensibilities, but now he was striking directly at the heart of the people. His body of work grew in size and intensity. Temples, nobles, and commoners were all targets of his scorn. Finally, at age 39, Darius wrote a piece entitled The Noblest Fool, ridiculing the emperor god Tiber Septim for integrating into the pathetic Nine Divines cult. The local king of Dania, who had been humiliated by this upstart in the past, saw his chance. For his sacrilege against the empire, Darius Shano was executed with a ceremonial blade in front of a cheering crowd of hundreds. His last bitter words were gurgled through a mouthful of his own blood. 20 years after their wager was first placed, Vernima and Sheogorath met over Darius Shano's headless corpse. The Dreamweaver had been eager for this meeting. She had been waiting for years to confront the Daedric prince over his lack of action. I have been deceived by you, Sheogorath. I performed my half of the bargain. But during your 10 years, you never contacted the mortal once. He owes none of his greatness to you or your talents or your influence. Nonsense, croaked the mad god. I was with him all along. When your time ended and mine began, your whispers in his ear were replaced with silence. I severed his link to that from which he found the most comfort and meaning, and withheld the very attention the creature so desperately craved. Without his mistress, this man's character could ripen under resentment and hatred. Now his bitterness is total, and overcome by a madness fueled by his rage, he feeds me in my realm as an eternal servant. Sheogorath turned and spoke to the empty space by his side. Indeed, Darius Shano was a glorious mortal, despised by his own people, his kings, and even by the gods he mocked. For my success, I shall accept 60 followers of Vernima into my service, and the dreamers will awaken as madmen. And thus did Sheogorath teach Vernima that without madness there are no dreams and no creation. Vernima will never forget this lesson. Alright, so we'll put that one back. There's no need to carry it with us either. I'm just trying to keep track of where everything is. I don't want to get turned around. Alrighty. Oh, that's fun. We've read all those books. Let's just move on, because here we have Chapter 5 and Chapter 6. Alright, first, let's run all the way back to Chapter 4, which, as you may have guessed, turns out to be a side area with cool treasures in it. And obviously, completionist that I am, I want to get those. Well, let's duck back here and head into Chapter 4. Seeker, what's up, bro? Think we've read all those, and we know the muffle spell. Ah, that's it. We pop into Chapter 4 just to hit that scry, which will give us access to some treasure later. That is all it is. So we'll head out of here now. Go ahead and run all the way back up to Chapter 5. Well, 5 and 6. Obviously, we'll hit 5 first. Oh, look, we're right back here. We hit this scry, and we visited Chapter 4. We're able to get into here, where we can deal with that Seeker. Brothers of Darkness and Sovngarde re-examination. Well, we've read those. Search the pod. Check these out. There's one of each magic skill book there. Or one skill book for each school of magic there. So that's a neat little find, actually. If you still need any of those. And now we can move on to Chapter 6. We're getting close. There's 7 chapters, if I remember right. He says as the game goes ahead and immediately proves him wrong. Chapter 7 and Chapter 8. I guess I didn't remember right. We'll go to 7 first. That seems easy. Fairly obvious. There's a High Seeker. Kill it. Check the remains. We've read both of those. We read those. Let's hit this scry, which starts a bridge going way over there in Chapter 8. Now we too can go to Chapter 8. Deathbrand and the Poison Song. Oh, we've read those. Let's just move on. This, I think, is the bridge we had to scry earlier. Yeah, there's Chapter 7 over there. Stay sneaky. We got 2 lurkers. And we aren't searching that one. Not that I care. They aren't like Seekers. They don't drop books or spell tomes. He says, and hopes he's accurate. Yeah, we're fine. So let's just hit this scry. Make our way forward. And there's the end. Outstanding. Look around for the boss chest. There usually is one. There it is. Vessel. Kite and Shield of Waning Shock. Fall of the Snow Prince. So lots of books in there. But we have read them all. How about over here? Conjure Ash Spawn. Oh, we know that too. Anyway, here is the Black Book, The Hidden Twilight. Completed. Black Book, The Hidden Twilight. So we'll take that off the quest list. I'll even eyeball it down here. I uncovered the hidden knowledge contained in the Black Book, The Hidden Twilight. So we got 3 options. Mora's Agony, Mora's Grasp, Mora's Boon. Summons a field of writhing tentacles that poison foes. Freezes the target between Oblivion and Tamriel for 30 seconds, making them immune to all damage. Fully restores your health, magicka, and stamina. I probably won't actually use any of these, but I'll grab Agony. Well, let's head back to Solstheim. And we will reappear inside Tel Mithryn, where we found the book. Only now it's in our inventory. Let's drop an anchor save. So that's always fun. Let's see if Neloth wants to give me another Radiant quest.
Don't lose that ring. It was difficult to make.
He does. Do you need help with your research?
I suppose that depends. Are you willing to be an experimental subject?
There are 2 versions of this quest. This will be experimental subject A, obviously. What kind of experiment do you want to do on me?
Oh, nothing too dangerous. It should provide an additional spectral tether from your own life spark to the Adric realm. You would experience it as a sort of increased vigor. You would fight longer, feel stronger, that sort of thing. At least I think it will. Probably, almost certainly. Of course, you never can tell.
I'd be glad to help.
Now stand still. It's my first time casting this spell, and I don't need any additional distractions. You won't feel a thing, but if you do, try not to scream too loudly. My ears are sensitive. Off you go. If you discover any side effects, come back and tell me straight away.
Started. Experimental subject. Watch for side effects. I let Neloth cast an experimental spell on me. If I discover any side effects, I should tell him right away. So, what this does to start off with is a 25-point health boost. Neloth's health boost. I think that's all it is. So to quickly finish this quest, just step into some water out behind Tel Mithryn. Strovis.
Azura's wisdom to you, friend. Oil Belinia has something to help me sleep at night. Master Neloth certainly keeps me busy. Taking care of his estate is a lot of work. I just can't seem to get the hang of making a decent cup of Canis root tea. He Yes?
How are you getting along here?
Neloth is a real taskmaster. And for tea. A thrice damn tea. I don't think I'll ever learn to make it properly. Until next time.
Oh, excuse me. That's all good. So all you have to do is step into some water to trigger the side effects. I think you actually have to submerge yourself, though. Completed. Watch for side effects. Talk to Neloth. I let Neloth cast an experimental spell on me. I've discovered a potentially dangerous side effect. Normally it boosts my health, but if I am in the rain or swim, it reduces my health. Alright, so we can report that back to him. Excuse me. Straight away.
Oh, did you need something?
Don't lose that ring. It was difficult to make.
Your spell made me weaker once I got wet.
Wet, you say? I suppose, yes, I can see how that would have inverted the tether. Unfortunate. Couldn't you simply avoid water? No, that won't do. Can't have you forego bathing. The ashlands can leave one a bit pungent, and it's obvious you've been through them. Here, I'll just remove it. Here's a bit of coin. Should help mitigate your inconvenience.
Completed. Experimental subject. Alrighty. Okay. So experimental subject A comes off my quest list. Let's exit and re-enter. There are a few more Radiant quests available that I'd like to get done now rather than later, if he'll give them to me.
My new steward is acceptable. If only he made better tea.
Can I help with your research?
Can you? Of course you can. What took you so long to ask? I've been trying to adapt Redguard magic to the Ash. I think the key concept I'm missing is recorded in Afasariat's book, Wind and Sand. I have some associates and correspondents who find things for me. One of them has a credible rumor on where this book might be. And I'd like you to find the truth of the matter.
Started. Wind and Sand. Get the Wind and Sand book.
That's that then.
Neloth has asked me to get a copy of Wind and Sand from inside Liar's Retreat. He needs it for his spell research. So that's back on the mainland, so we are heading back once again. Good times, right? This one, unlike Heartstones, is not repeatable. He'll only give you this one once. Same with experimental subject. Liar's Retreat. That's over in the Reach. I think. Yes, there it is. Yeah, now the second version of Experimental Subject isn't even available until we have finished the Dragonborn main quest. So this is actually the second to last quest we can do for Neloth. These are going pretty quickly. But the other one may also involve revisiting the mainland. Just a quick heads up. Oh, it's just Shadowmere. Okay. Oh yeah, this one. I think this is the one that starts out as a bandit den and then they get attacked by Falmer. I think that's this dungeon. Yep. Looks like on a revisit, only the Falmer respawn. Which actually makes a degree of sense. Well, maybe not only. They're fighting something. Anyway, let's just sneak past them all. I don't gain anything by fighting anymore. Why bother on a repeat dungeon? Am I right? I think so. We can just bypass everything. These guys are blind and I am silent. Yahoo! We got Charis hunters in here. Doesn't matter. Stayed sneaky. Here's Wind and Sand. Completed, get the Wind and Sand book. Talk to Neloth. Sure, but let's read it first. Take it off the list. Wind and Sand, Afa Sariat. Let the wind blow, let the sand scour, let the magic of air and sand be free to roam the Alikir. From the mystic membranes that stand between the two, absorb and convey unto me and all who may understand the deep essential powers of the desert. Deserts are often considered to be useless wastelands, avoided by the casual traveler and shunned by the softer species as unfit for civilization. But to those who bother to investigate, to dwell, to live, to linger in these spaces, a driving hardiness develops that serves them well in all environs should they ever choose to live. A thoughtfulness born of care, for who knows best how to best invest their resources than one who has had to walk half a morning and labor for an hour to extract a few drops of water from an unyielding plant. This same sort of requisite thrift applies to all other creatures who wring their living in such a land. The insight that may at first be missed, though, is that the magic of this land is similarly affected. Foregoing the showy lights and sounds of the forest-dwelling mages in Somerset, the flamboyant gesticulations of the Bretons, or even the bellowing of the Nords, there is a certain economy to the casting of a true Alikir wizard. This is not meant as a slight against other magical styles, only noting that such energies might be better focused into reflection and purpose. On sand. When both foreigners and natives imagine the desert, often their first image is one of orange-hued sand blowing beneath a dark blue sky. Indeed, this is not wholly incorrect, as the shifting sands are one of the key components not only of the desert, but of its natural magics. Consider, sand is nothing but the weathering of rocks, older by far than any of the living inhabitants who claim a land as theirs. As each rock breaks further, more of its inner space is revealed, until it is practically naught but exposed surface in its aggregate self. This collective then scatters, intermingles, scatters and repeats, in infinite combinations so long as Nirn continues to exist. If we believe as I do that the rocks themselves contain remnants of Magnus's gift, then this exposure and combinatorial explosion results in a breadth and diversity of magic energy as is unknown elsewhere in Tamriel. On air. Much as the sand learns from every grain around it, so too does the air which conveys it from one combination to the other absorb the sense knowledge of its carried grains. In fact, it is plausible that the air itself is guiding the combinations to novelty and expression. Indeed, consider that in the Nordic tradition, Kine is the widow of Shor, an aspect of Lorcan. Then her ministrations via wind to his physical legacy within Mundus could be seen as a form of celestial mourning from which we mortals can benefit. It would seem indeed that the next level of magical awakening may well be driven by scrying appropriate wind channels to carve novel paths through the vast desert, such as to further diversify the land's memory. Reading the knowledge of the sands, though, is an immense task in itself, though, more fit to an army of clerical workers than a wizard of any standing. Alright. Suppose I should check the rest of the boss chest before I just bail. And now we can just sneak right back out of here, I reckon. Uh-oh. Good, only the bandits spotted me. That's what I was hoping for. That's easy mode. Yeah, let's just get out of here. Oh. Guess you're grumpy about something. I don't care. Bye, y'all. So here's their little fort again. Let's just head right back out, right back to Solstheim. No problem. Snip, snap, done. We're moving on. There's only one other quest Neloth can give us at this point that he still hasn't. It's called Azra's Staffs. And it involves sending us out to a dungeon to retrieve a staff, as you would probably guess simply from hearing the title. It's all good, though. As he's really the only one who gives radiant quests in the expansion anyway. Be right back while this loads up.
The Northern Maiden's shipshape and ready to go.
Talk to Captain Gowland if you're looking to book passage. Get away from me.
Sorry for the hold up. Back to Tel Mithryn. We've got the book. And I'm trying to think. I think Heartstones, Azra's staffs, I think, is also repeatable, but we haven't gotten it yet. I think the only one that's repeatable that we might run afoul of again is Heartstones, and that's super easy. We can just run out to that same deposit and harvest the second one if we need to, so. Get Neloth's Radiant quests done is pretty straightforward. I found a copy of Wind and Sand from inside Liar's Retreat. Neloth needs it for his spell research. Well, sure. That makes sense.
Azura's wisdom to you, friend.
So, do you have it? Did you get my book?
The book was right where you said it would be.
Perhaps this particular source was worth more than I thought he was. Pity. In any case, this is truly amazing. I think I can adapt this into a sort of whirlwind vortex energy. Yes, I'll write it out, and you can pick up a copy from Talvis in a few days. In the meantime, take this for helping me.
Yes. 250 gold added, Wind and Sand removed, completed, Wind and Sand. So we'll take that off the quest list. And I did almost forget,
That's that then.
there is one, and I'm looking at my list, my eyes skipped over it.
Did you
Th-
fill
There is another spell you can get from Talvis after completing that quest called Whirlwind Cloak, which we'll certainly buy as soon as it's available. We'll be back at Tel Mithryn later, so I'm not going to wait just to purchase the spell or anything like that, but I will try this.
dragon could be captured alive. It would make a fascinating test subject.
Can I help with your research?
Perhaps later. For now, I have a slightly more personal request. You see, I'm a collector of staffs, magical staffs, in particular those made by Azra Nightwielder. Through some divinations, I believe I've located one. If you retrieve it, I'll give you a staff of my own making. Nightwielder's creations don't really hold up in comparison to what can be made today, but they have a sentimental value for me. You understand?
Started. Azra's staffs. Get the staff. Fair enough. Who was Azra Nightwielder?
He was the original Shadow Mage. His advances in magic are legendary. Less well known is that he was also a pioneer in the field of enchanting staffs. Every staff of his that I have uncovered has led me to greater understanding. Today we would consider his techniques rudimentary, but the genius is still evident.
Cool.
Finally, I can get back to work.
Azra's... oh yeah. Wind and Sand. I found a copy of Wind and Sand from inside Liar's Retreat. Neloth needed it for his spell research. I should be able to buy the spell from Talvis. And Azra's staffs. Neloth has asked me to retrieve one of Azra Nightwielder's staffs. It's hidden in Dead Crone Rock. Oh, when you know it, that's back on the mainland too.
Hey, friend. Keeping well?
What do you got for sale?
I had you figured for a mage. I think you'll appreciate this.
Just seeing if he has Whirlwind Cloak yet. Oh, he does. Good.
Until next...
So we can take that off of our spell list. Very cool. And
time.
we can go do the last Neloth Radiant quest. One last trip back to the mainland, but that's okay. It's all good. Oh, come on, this is taking forever. Okay, seriously, come on, game. There's no reason for this to take so long. Come on.
Talk to Captain Gap.
There we go. Yikes. Now we gotta go to Dead Crone Rock. I hate it when they send you back to the mainland. I guess it's neat that they're integrated, but God, who wants to go through 2 load screens? 4, if you count having to travel back to Tel Mithryn. It's 4 load screens. And that doesn't count the dungeon. Here we go. At least we can skip the long, drawn-out readout. Oh, thank you for that. So helpful, really. Wondered what the dang holdup was. There was a real bona fide quest here, wasn't there? I'm trying to think. Yeah, it was, part of Mehrunes' razor was in here. That's right. I remember. Yeah. Not going through a load screen. Not worth it. Shadowmere got in a fight with something. Unwise. That Shadowmere's immortal, so I'm not actually worried. He can't get killed like pansy little standard horses can. And the Hagraven doesn't respawn because she was unique. Drascua. And there is Azra's Staff of Paralysis. Completed. Get the staff. Talk to Neloth. Neloth has asked me to retrieve one of Azra Nightwielder's staffs. It was hidden in Dead Crone Rock. Indeed it was. Let's return to Solstheim. There are enemies nearby. Fucking wonderful. Oh, let me see. I was hopeful I could at least get over to the treasure balcony that I skipped. We got a troll, and looks like 2 Forsworn, actively fighting Shadowmere. I can't seem to hit him for the life of me. Why the hell can't I hit that cheeky little bastard? I didn't want to hit Shadowmere. Stop it. Hit the Forsworn, jackass. I'm aiming right the fuck at it. Jesus. Thank you. Alright. Are those enemies too close, or can I leave? 2 souls time. Good. We'll wrap up Azra's staffs, and then we'll be done messing around with Neloth. For a while, anyway. Come on, team. It's taking too long. It's killing me.
Talk to Captain Galland.
There we go. Alright, Tel Mithryn. Alrighty. Now we can visit Neloth one last time. Well, not for the last time, but I think you get what I mean. We're done Radiant questing for him. I'll just say that. So we'll take Azra's staffs off the quest list.
That ring. It was difficult to make.
I've got Azra's staff.
You didn't have to speak a word. I could sense it the moment you came in. You've proven your worth, and I'm as good as my word. Take this staff from my personal collection. I think you'll find it useful.
Completed. Azra's staffs. Staff of Paralysis added.
Mostly staffs. They're my specialty.
Fair enough. Don't actually need it.
That's that, then.
Alright. Let me quickly eyeball. Neloth asked me to retrieve one of Azra Nightwielder's staffs from Dead Crone Rock. That's it, we're done. Let's return to Raven Rock and do some exploring. This is also taking too long. Come on, team. Alright. Let me drop an anchor save here. With all those Radiant quests done. Let's leave town up here.
Head over to the retching edge if the ash has your throat parched.
Actually getting up to where we exited Cold Cinder Cave. If you remember that. We're going to start exploring the island, discovering locations, that kind of thing. Amazing how much questing you can do right at the beginning. It really is, but... Oh, hey! It's a new random encounter. This is animals attacking Reaver. It's actually there on the list, even though you can only get it on Solstheim. I think I mentioned there are some that you can only get on Solstheim, but you can get a lot of the base game ones here too. Anyway, there we go. Animals attacking Reaver. Done and done. Exciting stuff. What the fuck are these ice piles doing here? Don't know. Won't pretend to know. Animals attacking Reaver is off the list. That's all I really care about. So our first target is that little landmark right there. It's a spot called Brodier Grove. And it's a Reaver camp. Both discoverable and clearable. And it is now both discovered and cleared, as you can see. So let's take it off both sections of the list. Brodier Grove is discovered, and Brodier Grove is cleared. Lovely. Let's search the three Reavers. There's you can see the items are getting good. Somewhere around here is a unique item. Might actually be carried by the Reaver Lord. Yes, he has a unique sword called Stormfang. Cool. Yeah, we'll take that. And we'll take it off the unique item list too. Booyah. And as you would probably suspect, there's an East Empire strongbox here too. I just need to track it down. There it is. Many a bear trap. Let's get the pendant, and then let's move on. Very good. So, although I'm not going to do anything with it yet, I'm going to nick south to that fort we can see. That's High Point Tower. I'll discover it so we can fast travel back to it later. Alright, High Point Tower is discovered. Take it off the discoverable locations list, naturally. And now, I'm going to swing northeast to that little shack, which is a ramshackle trading post. It's an interesting spot, too. You'll see what I mean when we get there. You can see we're very much in the ashy portion of the island. Right around here, some green starts to poke through, and when you get over that ridge, that's kind of the stopping point for the ash, and it switches to the icy island you'd expect this far north. Anyway, here's the trading post. Let's discover it and take it off the discoverable locations list. And while we're inside, a couple of things. You can see a note, which we'll take off the book list. Meet me here at midnight. Well, fair enough. We'll do that, but let's make sure you grab the pendant here. And let's wait until midnight, which is 18 hours from now. Now I think we actually need to leave the cell and come back. I'll just, I think the simplest thing to do is probably just sprint back to High Point. Oh shit, a burnt Spriggan. Oh shit, you got paralyzed. Oh, sucks to be you. Alright. Now let's try heading back to the trading post. Alright. Well, why don't I do it this way? Let's fast travel away and back. That should help. I think, I hope. There's still enemies nearby. Well. How do you like that? I know it's past midnight, but the occupant is there from midnight to 6 a.m. Just a little surprised it's proving so difficult to make him appear. Maybe I didn't travel far enough away. Let's go to Raven Rock and back. Well, what the fuck? That wizard duel is going on over there. Alright. Time for a quick Google. Consultation with the UESP. Ah, that's the issue. We have to enter the area between midnight and 6 a.m. So, 12 hours, it'll be 7 p.m. 19 hours, it'll be midnight. Anyway, we need to find him because he has a unique item we want. It's not just for dialogue and the sake of encountering him. I have half an hour left to play tonight. It's been productive, though. I'm particularly happy that I'm already finished with Neloth's Radiant quests. That makes everything that remains much easier. Alright, come on now. Really ought to work this time. But no. Let's load the autosave. Maybe I just need to be farther away. This is annoying, though. Like, come on. Alright, let's try waiting in Raven Rock.
With the ash spawn.
8 p.m. Midnight.
Seems you've inherited a situation.
Situation? What kind of situation?
Drovus Relvi owes me 1,000 septums. At least he did until you set him up with that Telvanni wizard. Now he's untouchable. The way I figure it, it's your fault he can't pay me. So I guess I'm going to have to collect it from you.
Started. A new debt. Pay Mogrel. And if I don't pay you...
Nothing for now, but watch your back. I'll be sending collectors to find you. They won't ask so nicely. One way or the other, I'll get my money. Sooner or later, they all pay.
Helping Drovus has come back to bite me. He owed a moneylender named Mogrel 1,000 septums. Now Mogrel expects me to pay Drovus's debt. If I don't, he's going to keep sending thugs after me. Pay Mogrel.
I'll give you this warning only once. Stay out of my way, and we'll do just fine.
About that money Drovus owes you.
Tired of running? I knew you were weak. Now pay me.
Or I could just kill you now.
Take your best shot, Fetcher. But if you draw on me, the guards will put a bounty on your head, not mine.
Modin Veleth, Captain of the Redoran Guard at your service.
Let me see exactly how to resolve this. Ah, okay. Yeah, the only way to deal with it is to kill Mogrel, but, I'm gonna wait till his thugs bum rush me one time first. Just so we can see that. So I'm looking at the UESP for... Ah, there he is. Good. Phallus Selvane. Now I need to get undetected, and I need to pick his pocket, because I want his glass bow of the Stag Prince. Wielder receives an increasingly powerful blessing for every 20 animals killed by the bow. 0 animals killed. That's fine. So now we can take the glass bow of the Stag Prince off our unique items list, which is way cool. And we can talk to this dude.
From me. And what might you need?
Who are you?
Oh my. Who are you? Buy something and keep moving.
Where do you get your goods?
Sometimes things fall off the back of a car. I find them, clean them up, and resell them.
Alrighty.
Safe travels.
Ah, now look, it's Mogrel's thugs.
Mogrel says pay up. We figure we can just take it off your corpse. You picked a bad time to get lost, Fred.
Yeah. Good luck, idiots.
That's the best you could do.
Alright, they're dealt with. I got 25 minutes or so left. Let's head north. There are 3 Dwemer ruins on Solstheim. And we're going to discover and partially complete the first. We can't get all the way through it yet. Over here is Kagramez. Check this campsite up top first. Search Rayleth Eldri. There's Kagramez discovered. Where the hell's his book? Thought it would be on his corpse. Anyway, there's Kagramez discovered. That's item 1. Where is his book? His Is it underneath him? No. In his knapsack? No. It should be in here, I would think. Maybe it's around somewhere? I don't know. It's not in either of these barrels. I guess it could be in the dungeon, but I really remember it being with him. Let me see if it's clipped somewhere it shouldn't have. Well, not that I can see. Huh. Maybe it is inside the dungeon after all. Well, let's make our way down. And inside. Remember, we got a Kagrimez resonance gem off of Revis Sarvani, the guy who hatched and tends to Dusty the Silt Strider. Oh, we roll through here. Plenty of artifacts. Chests. Corpses. The usual. Do I still have Aura Whisper on? Yes, good. Alright, so if we descend down through here, what we're gonna find, first and foremost, is just Reavers.
Nonsense. A few Dwemer spiders will pop up, we kill them, and the treasure of Kagrimez will be ours.
If you say so. That old crackpot made the trial sound a lot harder than that.
Now I just have to figure out how to get this thing started.
Kill the three of them. Search their bodies. I think it's only the leader who really matters. Yes, he has 2 Kagrimez resonance gems, and there's the book I was looking for. Rayleth Eldry's Notes on Kagrimez. Let's read that and take it off the list. I am closer to solving the mystery of these ruins. I have found references in ancient Dwemer texts that call Kagrimez the site of a set of trials, a training ground of sorts. This is thus far unprecedented in my research. This could explain why that gate is so unmovable. The proper trial has not been completed. It is possible nobody has opened this gate since the days of the Dwemer. What treasures of the ancient world lie in wait behind these doors? The pattern on the gate seems to hold the solution to unlocking it. It bears resemblance to the console in the center of the chamber, but what does it mean? There are 9 holes that I assume are to be filled, but with what? If only I had the means to fund more expeditions to the other Dwemer ruins of Solstheim. They surely hold the keys to opening the locked gate. Even if I had the means to start the trials, I surely have not the means to complete them. I can't wait for more funding. I am going to have to recruit those who will act on the promise of treasure alone. Surely there are those as excited about this find as I am. Rayleth Eldry. Okay, so that tells us how to get started. We need to put resonance gems in this pedestal in the pattern that shows on the gate. So it looks like we can do the first trial. Middle left and bottom right. Only 2 gems needed. Let's do it. Middle left, bottom right. That's going to start a trial. Whoa, we got some spiders. It's always fun, right? Oh yes, and some new critters. Dwarven ballistas. Added in the Dragonborn expansion. That's what it looks like when you hit a floor or a wall with a soul trap effect. These things will fuck you up if they spot you and shoot you, I tell you what. There it is. Oh, come on now. See the last one? Yes. Okay, so that opened the first gate. Let's go see what's in there. Find resonance gems across Solstheim to complete the Kagramez trials. And we also had visit the hunters at Frostmoon Crag. This is a friendly dwarven spider. The steadfast dwarven spider. You seem friendly. I don't need some bucket of scrap metal following me around. I'll leave it here for now just because I don't generally like having followers, but the cool thing to know is you can actually get dwarven automatons to follow you in here. The first trial gets you the spider. We can do the second trial as well. Top middle, bottom right. Okay. Let's do it. Top middle, bottom right. Well, isn't that interesting? Tempered sphere. Spiders. Two. And just like that, we've completed trial number 2. That's it for now. We'll have to come back later after we find more gems. But we can get through this next gate, where, much like the spider, we find a steadfast dwarven sphere, who can likewise be recruited as a follower if you like. Now this next one, we need a 4th gem that we don't have yet, so we'll have to leave Kagramez for now and come back later. Out we go. Well, from here, we can head northwest, and you can see the ash is starting to give way to snow. Right up here is Frostmoon Crag, which we have a miscellaneous objective to go visit. Now, there's some stuff here, much like there were vampire-specific artifacts if you sided with the Volkihar in the Dawnguard questline. If you make it to Solstheim and you're still a werewolf, this clan up here at Frostmoon Crag can sell you some unique items to power up your werewolf abilities. I am not a werewolf, however. I don't think they're necessarily hostile, although they might be. I can't remember. If they attack me, so be it, but regardless, here we are at Frostmoon Crag. We can discover it and take it off the location list. And let's talk to these folks.
Traveler, you have no business here. We mean you no harm, but be on your way. Leave us in peace.
Raquel, Hakar, Hjordis, and Majni.
You have no business with our pack. Be gone. You have no business with our pack. Be gone.
Leave us in peace. What was that? Where are you? I knew I'd find
So if we stay here too long, they turn hostile, which is fine. You can see they're turning into werewolves. Some of them are anyway. Akar did. So did Majni, the leader. Well, they attacked me, so that's on them. Anyway, this place is supposed to be clearable, but I didn't hear the chime. There it is. Lovely. Okay. So, I won't be getting any of those unique items, but so you know, they are called the Ring of the Hunt, the Ring of the Moon, the Ring of Instinct, and the Ring of Bloodlust are the things that you can get from them. And that little chime is my signal that Frostmoon Crag is now cleared. Awesome. Now there should be that other... I think that's it for additional quests. So yeah, we're good actually. So let's just search this. Let me make sure that miscellaneous quest is gone. It is. Lovely. I have 10 minutes left. That's fine. Let's keep going. To the east of here, you can see a little landmark there. That's the Altar of Thrond, where we can go and eliminate some hag ravens. Let's do that right quick. Nice and simple. There we have discovered the Altar of Thrond. Search the sacrifice. That's delightful. Let's enter the cave. Three. Okay. No problem. There's an unfortunate alchemist. Let's just bag the hag ravens. One. They're named, as you can see, Falaise, Etienne. I think the three of them actually featured in a Blood Moon quest, now that I think about it. Anyway, that's that. The Altar of Thrond is now cleared. I'll take it off that list as well. And Isabel. And yes, they did feature in a quest in Blood Moon, I remember now. So let's search the bodies. There's Falaise. There's an adept-locked chest. Not sure where Etienne wound up. Don't think I really care. Let's just search the boss chest. Ah, there she is. I do want the secret chest up here. With its, at this point, hilarious novice lock. Don't need that flawless sapphire. Let's put that back. There we go. And let's head back out. With my last few minutes, I'm going to advance the main Dawnguard questline a bit. Or main Dragonborn questline a little bit. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? So there's something interesting you may have already caught a glimpse of out here. If you head up this path, you'll see many dragon corpses en route to a big structure, the architecture of which mirrors what was being built at the Allmaker Stones. And it seems this is still under construction as well. Look at all these dead dragons. That's important. We got Reavers, we also got named people, and we have discovered the Temple of Miraak. So I'll go ahead and take it off my discoverables list. I'll keep going a little bit. I still have 5 minutes. As you can see,
world will cease to be. Here in his temple, that they have forgotten.
Look at all this.
Here do we toil.
We must leave this place.
So here at the center of this big temple
Can you hear me?
is the tree stone.
Leave this place.
Completed, Dragonborn. Started, the Temple of Miraak. Talked to Freya. So there are lots of people here working, but let me look at Dragonborn. After an attempt on my life, I've tracked the people responsible to the Isle of Solstheim, where someone named Miraak has a temple near the center of the island. It's time to find out what's going on. So we have finally completed the quest, Dragonborn. And we are now on the Temple of Miraak. I found Miraak's temple on Solstheim. Now I need to find out why people are trying to kill me on his behalf. Let's chat with Freya first.
What brings you to this place? Why are you here?
Who are you?
I am Freya of the Scar. I am here to either save my people or avenge them.
Save them from what?
I am unsure. Something has taken control of most of the people of Solstheim. It makes them forget themselves and work on these horrible creations that corrupt the stones, the very land itself. My father Storm, our shaman, says Miraak has returned to Solstheim, but that is impossible.
This Miraak tried to have me killed.
Then you and I both have reason to see what lies beneath us. Let us go. There is nothing more I can do here. The tree stone and my friends are beyond my help for now. We need to find a way into the temple below.
Completed. Talk to Freya. Find the source of Miraak's power. What do you know about Miraak?
His story is as old as Solstheim itself. He served the dragons before their fall from power, as most did. A priest in their order. But unlike most, he turned against them. He made his own path, and his actions cost him dearly. Is someone there?
Or, guess we have to kill these cultists first. Then we can dialogue. That's what you think. Alrighty. Oh, I'd like to talk to Freya if we could. I've found Freya, a warrior from the Skull village on Solstheim. She is also searching the Temple of Miraak, looking for answers. We've agreed that we need to find where Miraak's power is coming from. So we'll head inside. I'll try to finish dialoguing with Freya, and then I'm going to end the video because we're just about at the 2-hour mark.
I must not fail my people. The evil in this place must be rooted out.
What do you know about Miraak?
The story is, he served, but unlike the stories say he sought to claim Solstheim for himself, and the dragons destroyed him for it.
You're here by yourself?
There are few of us left unaffected by this curse.